Greetings everyone, welcome to my weekly video blog. I am bringing lots of interesting topics to you that I hope that you enjoy, talking about Santa Fe and northern New Mexico. And today I'm actually here with my guest, Dr. Amanda Wheat. Amanda is an acupuncture, actually in Los Alamos, but she's practiced all over northern New Mexico. She's actually also was a professor at the Southwest Acupuncture School. And is now just in private practice primarily, right, Amanda? Mm-hmm. Amanda has been working as an acupuncturist, as a doctor of Oriental Medicine for over a decade. And so I'm really excited to be here with her today to talk to her a little bit about acupuncture and hopefully give you guys a bit of a primer on what that is and how that differs and maybe a little bit about how that works. So Amanda, could you just give us a brief overview of what acupuncture is and kind of how it works?
Sure. So acupuncture is a type of medicine, Chinese medicine that came...
Sorry, we have a friend here today. So I hope you don't mind, he's going to join us. Actually, interestingly, since he's here, I'll just bring it up before we get into the meat of it. You also can treat dogs and animals with acupuncture, right?
Acupuncture can be used to treat animals. In the state of New Mexico, a qualified veterinarian has to do it. So you can't just go into an acupuncturist office and bring your dog, unfortunately. But yeah, it's used all over the world to treat animals, which
wow.
is really cool because it can prove the effects of acupuncture are real. It's not placebo.
Yeah, especially animals can't really fake it.
Yeah, they really don't know what you're doing to them. All they know is they're getting better and they feel less pain.
Oh, that's so interesting. Well, all right. Well, then let's dig into what acupuncture is. So tell us a little bit about the history.
So acupuncture is a very old medicine. It's over 3,000 years old.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty old.
Yeah, it originated in China, but kind of spread throughout Asia, and now, to the Western world. It consists of more than just needles, but needles are primarily what people have come to recognize as acupuncture. So they're really tiny filiform needles that are, they're almost the size of a human hair. 30
small.
of them can fit into an average hypodermic needle. So they're really tiny.
Wow, that's really small. Holy smokes.
Yeah, they're really small. Usually there isn't like any pain involved with inserting them. It's less than a sticker, really.
I guess that's one of the big fears. I mean, at least that's what I hear. I know that's how I felt, is that, it's going to hurt.
Right. Yeah, most people who've done it or who are doing it for the first time, that's their first question. Is it going to hurt? And for the most part, it does not. If it does, you should always tell your practitioner because there are kind of good sensations and bad sensations, and you want to make sure to communicate that with your practitioner and make sure that you're not feeling anything that shouldn't be felt. Because in general, an acupuncture treatment should be very relaxing and very comfortable, and you shouldn't be, worried or
in pain,
or discomfort throughout the entire experience.
Well, it's interesting. I know actually you have treated me to great success, I might add, and I was not a believer. I was very skeptical of this type of medicine and very afraid of the needles. What was interesting to me was when I went through a treatment, Amanda's doing the needles, and I didn't feel a thing, and then she said, "This one's going to hurt," and it did, and it was really interesting. I was like, "How do you know? Like, how do you know that that's going to happen?"
Well, there are certain points can be considered diagnostic, if they're kind of correlating to whatever pathology that you might be experiencing at the time. They're going to usually be more tender, even to the touch. So initially, sometimes they can be a little bit more tender as far as like inserting the needle, or not even tender, like that might not even be the right way to describe it. Sometimes it's just a different sensation. It doesn't feel painful, but it feels weird enough to where I want to make sure that the patient knows, hey, this is coming.
That's so interesting. Yeah, it was kind of surprising to me, but anyways, kind of back to acupuncture. We keep getting sidetracked. It's easy to do with me. I think my audience will know. Like always all over the place. But one of the other things, acupuncture isn't just needles, right? You're a
Right.
doctor of Oriental Medicine, so that's a bigger kind of category. Could you
Right.
tell us what that is?
So it's all encompassing. So you'll hear things like terms like moxibustion and cupping and tuina and gua sha. Those are all kind of tools, so to speak, in our little toolbox of medicine. So it encompasses body work and herbs. There's a lot of Chinese herbs that are, and Western herbs that are just amazing and can treat complaints that much almost better because it's take-home medicine in a sense. You know, people can't come in and see an acupuncturist every day, even though we would love to see them every single day because they get better so much faster. So this is a way of kind of taking home. There's also something called auricular medicine, which is putting needles or seeds or things like that into the ear, which can also be a take-home method.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so there's kind of a lot of stuff that goes on in an acupuncturist office, not just needles.
Okay, great. So one of the other things I wanted to just touch on before we wrap up, because I know we don't have a lot of time today, is how does it work? You know, I know people are like, okay, we get that there's needles, and maybe we understand herbs a bit better in the Western world, but how do needles treat, you know, problems in the body?
Yeah, I get one of the funniest questions I hear, and I hear often, is what do you put in these needles?
Drugs.
Yeah, people do kind of assume that they're laced with something because when you put them in, they feel not only more relaxed, but they immediately feel a sense of pain relief. So it's very odd to them. What's on these needles, right?
Yeah.
What did you inject me with? There isn't anything on the needles. They're completely sterile. But what has been proven, scientifically proven, there's a lot of clinics and trials that they do, is that the brain releases serotonin and it releases endorphins as soon as those needles go in. So serotonin is there to relax you, the endorphins are there to help with the pain. It also increases blood flow to the area, so that speeds up the rate of healing for things. And there are neurotransmitters in the brain that are kind of like either shut off or turned on. It's really amazing what it does to the brain while the needles are in your body, and it's been clinically proven.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda. I really appreciate you taking the time. We're actually going to do a short series on acupuncture, so this is just the introduction. We have a few more interesting topics, I guess, like facts and myths and things like that around acupuncture that she's graciously agreed to kind of walk us through. So please stay tuned. As always, please feel free to leave feedback, your comments. You can call me, email me, text me. I love to hear from you guys, so I hope that everybody has a great day, and tune in next time. Thank you, Amanda.